This will be the best season of Ragnarok. It will feature the next 3 fights in the tournament, that being Round 7, Round 8 and Round 9, insane flashbacks for all of these characters, anime original scenes enhancing aspects from the manga, new and improved animation from additional studios being involved, and many more reveals that will change everything. Ragnarok Season 3 comes out next month, so here are 10 insane things that happen throughout this season. Number 1. The return of Buddha, this time with an eye patch. Season 2 concluded with him defeating Hajun or Papias in the anime at the end of round 6. However, throughout that battle, one of his eyes were destroyed by the Demon Lord, resulting in this new look of Buddha throughout the remainder of the series. At first, he is shown bandaged up, but then he looks like this, followed by Detective Buddha making an appearance potentially at the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see. Now when it comes to number 2, the reveal of Nostradamus in the anime. Something that was actually cut from the final episode in Season 2 Part 2. Before the reveal of Huang and Hades as the Round 7 fighters, we should have gotten a scene of Nostradamus' reveal and interactions with Brunhilde and Gol. These moments. Nostradamus was introduced in chapter 55 of Ragnarok. This will be episode 1 of season 3. He's recognized as the prophet of the century, and his first words in Ragnarok were the following. Allow me to prophesize. The ones to win Ragnarok will be the gods. Something that may turn out to actually be true. However, this was in a more so joking manner, highlighting who Nostradamus is as a character, with Brunhilde claiming that the man before you is the most obnoxious man in all of human history, and it's unfortunate that he's also very strong. This is paired with him being known as a character known for his pranks, giving many people in the fandom the impression that he would actually be facing Loki. However, with what comes next decided most people's predictions, including mine, we see Brunhilde threatening to send Nostradamus back to Helheim, that being the underworld in the Ragnarok story, resulting in the human to kinda beg for mercy, but again this is more so him acting. Brunhilde says, enough with the obvious lies. If you had truly felt like it, you could have come back at any time, even if it took killing the guards. Naturally, this comment about Helheim has led many fans, and most importantly Gol here, to question why he would actually be in Helheim as a human, where Brunhilde reveals that he broke a god's taboo and became the only one in all of humanity to be cast into Helheim, highlighting that Nostradamus is different to any other human we've seen in the story so far, and this taboo that he broke is destroying the Bifrost, pretty much the gate between the 3 main realms, that being Valhalla, Helheim and Midgard/Earth. Something that looks like this, and based on the canon in the Ragnarok story, is only allowed to be used by chief gods in the Ragnarok story. Most notably Zeus, the supreme god of the Greek pantheon and supreme god of Valhalla, Hades, the supreme god and ruler of Helheim, Odin, supreme god of the Norse pantheon, Shiva for the Hindu pantheon, and likely some of these other supreme gods introduced later on in the story. On top of that, the reason for this didn't seem to be that serious, Nostradamus just vibing in a sense. This naturally results in Gol to view him as a sinister criminal, and Brunhilde to pretty much ask what he's doing here, where Nostradamus reveals, yeah, I'm just wondering if it's my turn yet, highlighting that he may be interested in fighting. For reference, this is right after round 6, Buddha's victory over Zero and Hajun, resulting in the big reveal most of us have been talking about since this chapter. Your turn is still a long way off because you are our Joker. Pretty much a very hype scene that may actually take up around 40% of episode 1 for Record of Ragnarok season 3, alongside revealing the canon color scheme of Nostradamus potentially. So far when it comes to the manga, the only official art piece we've gotten of Nostradamus not in black and white is this one on screen right here. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not the anime decides to use this version, unless they completely cut out the Nostradamus thing, which will result in a, let's say, rage-filled video from me, as this whole moment does reveal some pretty hype stuff about the chief gods and broader Record of Ragnarok world as well. We will also have the reveal of Kintoki in the anime this season. So he first appears in chapter 65, right after round 7 Huang vs Hades concluded, meaning we'll be seeing him in the anime during season 3 in December, with the scene featuring the injured Buddha chilling underneath his tree, where Kintoki pulls up on him, showing concern for the Enlightened One's injuries and providing some goods, the almighty candy rocks. Then Buddha says to Kintoki, "I've got a favor to ask you," in which both of them smile at one another, where Kintoki says, "I ain't got no reason to turn down a request from you, man," and this is what Buddha wants from him. "There's a guy I want you to look into, the man who will shake up Ragnarok, the dragon-slaying hero Sigfried." Bringing us to chapter 77, right after round 8 Beelzebub vs Tesla finish, showing Brynhilde alone, crying for the fallen fighters on both sides, the joy of Lubu, love of Adam, pride of Poseidon, justice with Hercules, passion of Raiden, innocence with Zero, dignity of Hades, and progress of Tesla, noting that this sorrow is directed at both the gods and humans, something important to remember moving forward. But we see that Buddha was watching from behind the entire time, right away revealing that he has something to ask Brynhilde. The reason he's here is because he wants to know about her ex-boyfriend Sigfried, claiming that he's been locked up in Tartarus for a long time and questions if him and Ragnarok are connected, where Brynhilde stops him right away to reveal that Sig is not her ex-boyfriend, naturally before taking her leave, revealing to us that they are still together, with us seeing the current state of this hero. Deep within Tartarus, we see two guards talking about Beelzebub's round 8 victory, which is overheard by Sigfried within his cell, being shocked that the scores are 4 wins to both sides at that time, resulting in the guards to question him on who he's rooting for, the gods or humans, considering he's a half human, half god, officially confirmed right here. But before he can answer, they take their leave as they aren't meant to be talking to him, where he notes that it's boring down here, and we see the insane extent he's actually chained up within Tartarus, but is more worried about Brynhilde, wanting her to take care of herself considering the insanity she's causing for the gods right now. Alongside the first time we actually officially see him in the story being in this chapter. So I do wonder if this is going to be his official colour scheme as highlighted on some official art pieces. Yes, Beelzebub is Satan in Record of Ragnarok. We need to first have a deep look at his flashback. Right away, the narrator tells us that the name Beelzebub is used alongside 2 other names. The first is the Lord of the Flies and second, Satan. Beelzebub as a god is viewed as the one cursed by Satan, or at least the others believe that, and that every god involved with him will experience misfortune until they eventually lose their lives in a very specific way outlined here, leading into almost everyone to avoid him until these 3 angels, with one of them literally being Lucifer. That angel also dropped the claim that Satan is believed to be some ancient monster, something that is probably just superstition, leading into them becoming friends, best friends from Beelzebub's perspective, which is important for stuff I'll reveal later on. However, he wakes up one day and sees blood everywhere, with all 3 angel friends dead, in the same way Satan's legend claims, resulting in Beelzebub to believe what he's been told his entire life, that he is cursed by Satan and that Satan is real, finding his ultimate goal to kill Satan and get revenge for his friends. Spending all this time researching everything, alongside the help of Lilith, a goddess revealed to be a childhood friend of Lucifer, searching together everywhere, the edges of Valhalla and the deepest parts of Helheim, to no success. Of course, this is due to one key reason many of you watching today's video has probably came to now. Beelzebub even had dreams about Satan, and upon falling in love with Lilith, it was revealed that Beelzebub was Satan all along, killing his love, described as demonic distrudo, which results in Beelzebub to kill anyone he is in love with or is very close to, realizing that Satan had always been within him. Therefore, Beelzebub is Satan and has spent his remaining days trying to get himself killed, whether it be the creation of various monsters, jumping Hades, or using Zero to revive the demon lord Hajun, all for the sake of him being killed, the death of Satan, but fails at every point due to a curse placed on him by Lilith that he must live. Considering his other flashback with Hades, we have the King of Helheim say the following: "I've been hearing rumours, a reckless fool who fell from heaven. He's been constantly picking fights with the beasts of Helheim. A mad demon resides within him." Once again confirming everything we've learnt already, giving us more insight about Lilith's curse on him, being unable to die. And it seems like when you take this panel here, Beelzebub is taken over by Satan when he's actually in danger of dying, as he's giving himself up to these monsters, and then in the next panel they're all defeated, meaning the curse of Lilith works alongside Satan in this regard. This also explains the reason Satan didn't take over during the Hades clash, because the ruler never had the intention to kill Beelzebub, actually changing his view on Lilith's curse, making him see the light, you could say, that it's not a curse, it's actually a prayer for Beelzebub to continue living, with Beelzebub coming to the following conclusion: "I must continue to live, so when he does die, it's as horrifically as possible." However, due to his respect for Hades, and of course him changing his view, him giving him this weapon, etc., his wanted revenge for Hades losing in Record Ragnarok against Huang is stronger than his want to die. As such, he had given everything in his fight for the sake of winning, defeating humanity, which was successful. He survived again, with this scene kinda looking like Satan was taking over due to how much Beelzebub is pushing himself in the fight. I think this is the case, as it's protecting Beelzebub from dying, the gift from Lilith, which works alongside the Satan within now for the sake of Beelzebub, as if it was used to really stop Beelzebub from fighting, that would technically just result in him dying, which as a whole means Satan takes over when Beelzebub is in danger of dying with how everything is currently set up. But in the end of his fight, he blames Hades for getting in his way of death, which brings us to number 6. You could say Record of Ragnarok Season 3 will be the Hades season. This is because his fight with Huang will be the longest. He has his own very interesting and important dedicated flashback, which enhances the overall Greek lore in the entire series. His defeat directly connects to why Beelzebub ended up fighting in the following round, has more reveals in that god's flashback, and overall is mentioned and highlighted an insane amount, even in additional side chapters post his defeat in the manga as well, highlighting his influence. Number 7 connects to more Leonidas content being added for round 9 in season 3. Something highlighted in one of the trailers, stuff that was not in the manga, an interaction between him and his Valkyrie, bringing up the possibility of much more anime only content enhancing round 9. One at this point that may be considered the most disappointing in the entire series to this day, at least broadly speaking, so that hopefully will deliver. 8 is pretty much bringing us into the maybe category. the reveal of a new god fighting in the tournament, that being Susanoo, who does have his colour scheme officially revealed. He should look something like this in the anime, and brings us to number 9 as well. The reveal of Anubis could potentially happen at the end of season 3 if they decide to include it. It could be similar to the Nostradamus situation in season 2 where they cut it and may save it for season 4. But number 10, something I do believe is going to happen, the introduction of the round 10 fighters, which of course is Susanoo and Okita, concluding the season like they've done in the previous 2. With that, check out GamerSupps using code MWEEB for a 10% discount. All these insane products help support this content and channel directly. Laters boys.